laughing aloud now, magic in the air. Wands roll around us, cast away our care. Friends in the hallways, adventures we find. Spells and enchantments, trouble on our mind. That's so wizardful.
Wizards of the Coast rewrites magic and the past yet again because it doesn't have any ideas for its future. Hello and welcome, good morning, and thank you for joining me yet again this Wednesday. It's time for another exciting episode of That's So Wizards! That's So Wizards is filmed live in front of a studio audience consisting of my cat. Good morning, hello, it is the 30th day of October here at Site B. It is windy and cold and stuff. It's about 8:30 in the morning and it's Wizards of the Coast news, and I'd love to say there's something new and exciting and different coming out of the mind machine that is Wizards, but nope. They're just continuing to do more of the same. If you're waiting for some exciting news regarding the layoffs or some drastic changes that is going to happen to Wizards with the 99 people that were fired and the rumors of the move, yeah, I got nothing. They're nothing. Instead, they're doing stuff with old things because they have no new ideas, including we've got the schedule of release products for next year. And yeah, it's more of the same. Yeah, really just nothing new. So let's start with the big one. In case you are the one person on the planet who has never heard of Magic the Gathering, and I'm sure there's someone, I mean, maybe one of those tribes in South America, in the Amazon that have no communications. Maybe they've never heard of it. But yeah, if you're the one person on the planet who hasn't heard of Magic the Gathering in the past 400 years, don't worry about it, because Wizards is restarting Magic the Gathering yet again with a brand new foundation starter collection for people who have never played Magic or are looking to just get into Magic yet again. If you're looking to use this as a way to replace cards you might be missing, well, that might be something that you could think about, but I'd wait for the singles to become available at shops that sell singles, because this is just going to be a run of booster packs and little starter sets. And if you're familiar with the last 1, 2, 3, 4 times that I can think that they've done this, that is pretty much going to be the same. Similar to Chronicles or all the other restarts, repackage, re-release of Magic the Gathering. So nothing new from Magic the Gathering. No new exciting from Magic the Gathering. The Magic the Gathering is one of the few things that made Wizards of the Coast any money in Q3 of 2024. So I guess it's a safe bet that you can continue to milk the Magic the Gathering marketplace for the next, I don't know, million years, because it requires no imagination whatsoever, right? I mean, one guy could be doing Magic the Gathering right now. We wouldn't know. It's not that hard anymore with so many years of Magic the Gathering stuff to milk. All you got to do to make a new Magic the Gathering right now is either link it to an IP. Magic the Gathering and Hostess have made a crossover. Look for the brand new Magic the Gathering King Twinkie card. Oh, does that mean Magic the Gathering Hostess? Hostess is now canon in D&D? I mean, yeah. They don't have to do anything or just revisit a previously existing Magic the Gathering setting like Ravenica for the 80th time. So yeah, exciting news from them to continue to rewrite Magic the Gathering because they have no new ideas for it. Speaking of no new ideas, Wizards of the Coast is returning to old settings because it has no new ideas for new settings, starting with a brand new Scions of Elemental Evil, free for those of you who want to go on to D&D Beyond. Obviously, it's not a PDF you can just download. It's presented the same way they always present these freebies, where it's in small little chunks. So if you actually wanted to use it, you would either have to have a D&D Beyond account or slowly and painstakingly open each of the little chunks, copy and paste it to a text document, and then print that out. Yeah. Why does this look familiar? Oh, because we're returning to Greyhawk, as you know, and one of the cornerstones of Greyhawk is the Temple of Elemental Evil, the first, right, the first mega dungeon. No, it is not the first mega dungeon. And this, of course, is Temple of Elemental Evil, because we've never, ever returned to Temple of Elemental Evil until just now, as long as you ignore the Temple of the Elemental Evil themed adventures that they've made, like Princes of Elemental Evil. But as long as you ignore that, then this will be the first time we've returned to Temple of Elemental Evil in 6th edition. So if you're looking for a 6th edition take on the classic Temple of Elemental Evil, here you go. But if you want to play Temple of the Evil where it's like it's meant to be played, don't worry about that, because you can find copies of it online. So yeah, free digital Scions of Elemental Evil return to Elemental Evil for the 37th time, because Wizards has no new ideas. Continuing of no new ideas, this one's getting a lot of negative press, even though nobody's actually read it yet. It's the Return to Ravenloft, Heir of Strahd. And continuing a very controversial cover, because here's a bunch of people in Ravenloft who look happy. We've got this happy-looking alchemist. We've got a Kenku, because I guess Kenku are a player race again in D&D, even though they're not. We've got a tiefling. He looks happy, because we got to have a tiefling. Or maybe he's a half-orc. I don't know. We got to have a tiefling, because, and then a drow elf with a pet bat cat thing. He's not wearing a shirt, so he's either a fashion model or a barbarian. And then here's Strahd laying over them with his card, because I don't know what that means. The car and his glass of thing, and his very young and handsome looking Strahd, and is called Heir to Strahd. So I guess one of these is going to become the new heir to Strahd, take Strahd's place. Happy people in Ravenloft who look like fashion models or whatever. Let's see. What is 5 strangers armed with steel and magic awaken in the mist-shrouded land with no memory of how they arrive. Rotrog, a prideful orcish wizard. Chevron, a sardonic drow barbarian. Drow and barbarian are not combinations I'd ever thought I'd hear. Alicia, an embeddled tiefling paladin. Ka, a skittish Kenku cleric. And Feel, a sunny human artifactor. Okay, so here's our sunny human artifactor. I'm happy because I have guns. So who do we think is going to become the heir to Strahd? The drow barbarian, the tiefling paladin, the half-orc? Yeah, I don't know. And after they arrive, of course, Strahd invites them to dinner, which, as we know, is the opening stanza for the classic Ravenloft adventure, which started the whole thing. This one's getting a lot of negative press from the Dungeons and Chronics. Hello, Dungeons and Chronics, and welcome. Thanks for joining us. Please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. The OSR, of course, has jumped on this because they're afraid that this is going to be Wizards of the Coast rewriting and creating a brand new woke version of Ravenloft and woke version of Strahd, because, that's what we're afraid Wizards will do, which is probably what it is. I mean, I don't know what woke means anymore. But I assume we can expect it to be a rewrite of what we know and love about Ravenloft, to present it to a brand new audience in a brand new way that is more in tune with Wizards of the Coast's brand new philosophy in regards to classic settings and the future and stuff like this. Yay, more of the same. So forget everything you know about Ravenloft. It's a brand new Ravenloft. If you've never, ever visited Ravenloft before, and you're curious about the setting of horror, yeah, this probably wouldn't be the way to introduce yourself to it, because assuming, as of now, all the Ravenloft product is available to you online, relatively inexpensive. So if you really want to explore the domain of dread, I would suggest checking it out through Drive-Thru or the other sites that still have the adventures while we still can, before Wizards takes them off of the shelf. Yay, Ravenloft. But that's not all. because Wizards of the Coast continues with more of the same. We've got free digital dice. What? Wizards of the Coast has decided to remember that there are friendly local game stores, and they've been sending out to the friendly local game stores free one-shot day support promotional play to produce the DMG. Sidebar. In regards to the brand new Dungeon Master's Guide, which isn't out yet, there's already rumors of errata. There's already a rumor of errata. It's a very, very little small story that's hidden behind a bunch of other stories, but apparently coming out of the pre-release of the Dungeons Master's Guide at London Comic Book Con, because Street Date, what the fuck is that? I know you pre-ordered your copy, but 900 people got it before you. Aren't you just so excited that you spend all that money to be guaranteed to get it before anybody else? Yeah, anyways, there's rumors of errata. Just like there was rumors of errata just as the new Player's Handbook came out, and then within moments of the new Player's Handbook hitting the shelves, hey, we have to make some errata because we found some mistakes. 25 pages worth. So, yeah. Even though the DM's guide is out, expect errata if it hasn't already out. We'll follow up on that story as it becomes more available. It's a novel. It's another Strahd novel, Ravenloft novel. You can find the old Ravenloft novels, most bookstores and libraries. So we get free adventures if you're dungeon for a friendly local game store, and there's a bunch of these free adventures. Now, they're not new adventures. They're adventures taken from previous product, the previous product that doesn't count because it's not 6th edition. We've got an adventure from Candle Keep, an adventure from Radiant Citadel, and an adventure from the Golden Vault. And I also have a picture of the grown-up version of the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon kids. I will say yet again, that looks nothing like them. That's not Eric. Presto is the only one who looks like Presto, except Presto also looks like Billy from Power Rangers. And what did you get for if you go to this one shot? Do you get a copy of the adventure? No. Do you get anything else? You get a digital dice. Ooh, digital dice. Not a real dice, but a brand new digital dice. Well, where can I roll my digital dice? Oh, D&D Beyond and the new VTT. You mean the VTT that's not out yet? Absolutely. So now I have a digital dice that I can use when the VTT goes live, if it goes live. For the same amount of time and energy, you could have just given me a real dice. So if you haven't had a chance to check out one-shots for Dungeons & Dragons and you want to check out what the brand new D&D is like in order to celebrate the release of the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide, as long as you don't count the fact it's already been released, 900 copies floating around London somewhere, well, you can get these adventures that aren't 6e and are all written before 2024 Dungeons & Dragons came out, none of which count anymore because Wizards of the Coast is completely rewriting Dungeons & Dragons, so that makes these pointless. Yay! So that brings to mind, as we spiral towards the end of the year and the rather disappointing numbers for Wizards of the Coast. As we know, Wizards of the Coast lost money, and Dungeons & Dragons sales are not as big as Wizards of the Coast would have liked, despite the fact that they continue to claim that the new 2024 6th edition Player's Handbook was the fastest selling product of all time, at least between 2014 and today. The fastest selling product of all time, not the fastest selling book, because that would have been Tasha's. But of all the D&D products ever sold, Wizards of the Coast wants you to know that the brand new Player's Handbook that they've already forgotten about was the fastest selling product of all time. As long as you don't count anything else. Now, how was it the fastest selling product of all time when it's still sitting on shelves? Well, that's because Wizards gets to count the 3,000 copies it made available at Gen Con, and all the digital pre-orders, and all the copies that they made available to friendly local game stores a week before Street Date. Because as far as Wizards of the Coast is concerned, Street Date, it's not a rule. It's an idea. Are they really going to hit us with a fine if we break Street Date? Oh no, we broke Street Date. Oh no, we're getting a fine. I think we'll pay for that with pocket change. Because, you know, we lost money this quarter, but we had enough money to give our major stockholders and our CEO another raise. But yay. So if you count all that, then by the time it actually did hit Street Date in New York, they'd already sold 3,000 plus copies. So of course it was the fastest selling product of all time. Which means we now have to set our eyes for the future with the brand new Dungeon Master's Guide coming out, as long as you ignore the fact that they broke Street Date and made it available in England. What else can we expect? We've been really curious to know what Wizards of the Coast has planned for the 50th anniversary, for the brand new Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition, a brand new, you can tell I'm being facetious and sarcastic, a brand new plan. All new adventures, all new excitement, all new action, all new characters, all new NPCs. Here's a chance to really give us some brand new stuff for Dungeons & Dragons 2025 for the few people that still want to play it. And those brand new things are the Dungeon Master's Guide in November 12th, as long as you ignore the fact that it's already out. The Dungeon Master's Monster Manual 2025, February 18th. Okay, well, we knew about that. What's next? What is the new thing? A dragon anthology. July 1st, 2025, we will have a dragon anthology, a book of 10 dragon-themed adventures. Didn't we just do a dragon anthology? Like 2 of them? Yeah, well, that was earlier. That was earlier. And, you know, we at Wizards ignore anything that was made earlier. So even though we just released a dragon anthology with brand new dragon-themed adventures and completely rewrote how we perceive dragons, we're doing it again in July 1st in 2025 because we want to give you guys new and exciting things. Dragons yet again. Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. Dragons are an easy thing to sell. It's a guaranteed moneymaker. Everybody loves dragons. What else can we expect? 2025 Dungeons & Dragons, brand new restart, brand new adventures, brand new settings, brand new exciting things. Heroes of the Borderland. Yep, that's right. We're redoing Keep on the Borderland. Because I guess we've forgot the fact that we just did Keep on the Borderland. In fact, the single best 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adventure that Wizards of the Coast made, Minds of Feldelver, is Keep on the Borderlands. It is a better version of Keeps on the Borderlands. Minds of Feldelver is amazing. I mean, they ruined it with the sequel by not following the plot that was originally there. Oh, it turns out it was Mind Flayers all the time, despite the fact that we've been hinting it was Vecna. Because we're saving Vecna. So yes, if you're the one, you know, if you don't have a copy of Keep on the Borderland or the Goodman Games Keep on the Borderland or Return to Keep on the Borderland or the 100 some odd times Wizards of the Coast and TSR reprinted Keep on the Borderland, and you want to get a brand new, never before seen version of Keep on the Borderland, because it's all about brand new stuff in 2025, you can get Heroes of the Borderlands, where the AI will take apart the 50 years worth of product that is available regarding the Borderlands and then regurgitate it into a brand new Heroes of the Borderlands, because at Wizards of the Coast, we have no new ideas. All right, okay. 50th anniversary, let's go back to what everybody considers the first adventure. It's not the first adventure, but in most people's minds, hey, Keeping the Borderlands was the first, right? No. I mean, what was the first I saw? Well, okay, yeah. But we need to go forward. We need to go forward with the battle plan that we've already given you guys a sneak peek into Greyhawk, and we have been saying for the past 2 years that we are going world agnostic. It is no longer going to be centered around the Forgotten Realms because, as Jeremy Crawford informed us, 5th edition has always been Planescape. It's always been Planescape. Planescape has been the secret engine behind every 5th edition novel, every 5th edition book, every 5th edition product since 2014 till today. It's all been Planescape. We're getting rid of the worlds, and we're going to focus more on the idea of the Magic the Gathering Dungeons and Dragons multiverse. Therefore, on November 1st, 2025, we are releasing Forgotten Realms Player's Guide and Forgotten Realms Campaign Guide, of which Ed Greenwood has very little, if nothing, to do with. Now, this won't be covering the entire Forgotten Realms, just the Sword Coast, because we've forgotten that there's more to the Forgotten Realms than the Sword Coast. Zental Keep? What's that? Fae? No. Moholoran? No. Chasunta? The Dalelands? Never heard of them. Neverwinter. Oh, yeah, we got Neverwinter. We got Baldur's Gate, and we got Waterdeep, because that's the entire world. You just said we're not doing that. No, we didn't. I don't remember saying we aren't going to do that. Will we be seeing a 3-book slipcase and a brand new DM screen? Yes, we will. Even though it hasn't been announced yet, there's already sneak peeks of the art for the brand new DM's guide floating around. If you haven't seen it yet, it's nothing exciting. So I would expect that if they don't release it by Christmas this year, we can expect it Christmas next year, if not before. Or if the money for Q4 looks really, really bad, and they need to do something to improve their press, we could expect the 3-set slipcase. But of course, we have to get the new DM's guide errata floating around so we can then make a reprint of the new DM's guide and the new player's handbook with the errata added. Not that they would ever do that. Oh, yay. They're turning D&D into generic tools. They can resetting with IP infusions. Get ready for Marvel 5e, Fortnite 5e, and Witcher 5e. They've already done a Magic the Gathering Marvel crossover. They've already done a Magic the Gathering Fortnite crossover. And I don't know, I assume they could do a Magic the Gathering Witcher crossover. As for the Marvel universe, they don't own that anymore. A different company is doing the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. A Fortnite, and I think somebody did a Witcher role-playing game. It was pretty awful. A Fortnite role-playing game? Maybe our friends over at Evil Genius Games will do Fortnite, since David was talking about getting his hands on more modern day settings. I really thought that interview would have gotten me more people, considering how much trouble David got in earlier this year, but I guess we've already forgotten that. Anyways, so yes, the plans for Wizards of the Coast for 2025 is to not have anything new, not create new products, not continue with the amazing setting that they created for Minds and Feldelver, not continue with Greyhawk because they don't have the rights to anything else from Greyhawk because Trollord Games is doing Greyhawk. If you want to see Greyhawk stuff, just go to Trollord Games and look at all the Gygax stuff they're doing because it's much more exciting than what Wizards is doing. And they're certainly not doing anything with Minds of Feldelver or Vecna or anything else. So I assume all the settings for 2025 going forward till 2030 will be returning to settings we've already seen. 6th edition Ravenloft, 6th edition Forgotten Realms, 6th edition Planescape, 6th edition Spelljammer, 6th edition Strixhaven, a few more Magic the Gathering settings, more with the VTT, the rumored VTT, which will follow up on another video that I have planned for later today as I respond to comments that I got from our good friend, the Pickled Dragon, and a video that Diversity and Dragons made about the death of D&D. But in regards to Wizards of the Coast news, let's tie this up because it's already been 25 minutes, right? Following on the footsteps of the 99 people that got terminated, of which 4 we've heard of. Now, of course, I'm jokingly saying 99. I don't know exactly how many people got terminated. We just know that they announced that a whole bunch of people got terminated, but it was under 100. Dracoya from Pickle Dragon explains why that number and how that has to relate to the hiring and firing practices, especially for Hasbro in their current home of Rhode Island, and the now all but guaranteed rumors. They're still rumors, but we do think it's mostly true that Hasbro Rhode Island, yes, Rhode Island is a real place, will be moving to Boston, because I guess they're Red Sox fans. And in the process of that move, of the current 1,000 permanent full-time employees, under 99 of them were terminated, of which we know 4. And of all the people, those were all Wizards of the Coast people. Wizards of the Coast just coming off of a previous termination of tons of its employees, have now just lost a ton more employees. This goes, of course, part and partial to the fact that Wizards of the Coast is transmitting everything from a physical to the digital, and transmitting everything into D&D Beyond and the upcoming VTT, thus the digital dice, which means by 2030, the idea of pen and paper D&D will be an afterthought. It will be an obscure memory of its classic for itself, as Hasbro has made it very clear over and over and over again since 2020, for all of you who have not been paying attention to this, and I'm sure there's some of you, that this is the plan and has been the plan for a while, and that they feel they cannot make money off Dungeons and Dragons as it is, so they have to do things like Dungeons and Dragons meat sticks and digital dice and reprinting and replacing and redoing previous adventures, because they don't have enough employees to do new adventures, and they're counting on people to make product. You can now use Greyhawk, kids. Put that product on the DM's Guild or on D&D Beyond, and hopefully those people haven't read the new contract that says very specifically, once you put it on D&D Beyond or DM's Guild, it becomes theirs. And then they don't need to make new content. All they need to do is take the content you wrote and scrub off a few numbers, replace some of the art, have the AI go through 50 years of history to tear everything apart, and then regurgitate it as a brand new adventure. And then you're going to look at that adventure and go, hey, I wrote that. And Wizards of the Coast is going to go, no, you didn't. But nope. But nope. But you should have read the contract. It's but nope. You didn't read that. The AI created it. This might be upsetting to some. You might be the one person on the planet who's never played Magic the Gathering and are looking at the addition of Foundations and going, ooh. You might be the one person on the planet who doesn't have a copy of Temple of Elemental Evil and doesn't have the wherewithal to go onto any of the hundreds of sites that has Temple of Elemental Evil available on it. Get it now before they take it down. You might be the one person on the planet who are looking at this list of products and going, no, those are all new. Because, yeah, a brand new return to Keep of the Borderlands as long as we ignore Mines of Foundelvin. That's amazing. A brand new dungeon anthology because we completely forgot we just did a dragon anthology. That's amazing. Another regurgitation of the Forgotten Realms because we've forgotten that that's what we've been doing for 50 years and we're forgetting the fact that we said we weren't going to go back to the Forgotten Realms. That's amazing. That's exciting. That's new. That's different. That's so Wizard!
Laughing aloud now, magic in the air. Wands swirl around us, cast away our care. Friends in the hallways, adventures we find. Spells and enchantments, trouble on our mind. That's wizard for